Yeah, still on the issue of this understanding that you come to you from knowing that you are valuable by default. How should you respond? How should you now carry yourself knowing these things? You know, there's, I think in Romans chapter 6, you will see that phrase there, knowing these things. Jesus also used that statement in John chapter 13. It said, if you know these things, happy are ye if you do them. Now, if you have known these things, what understanding should you function with? That's why we are talking about this second side of Project U. And we are talking about some points in time past. But the point we are considering now is that you are, if you are valuable by default, then it means that you are a being of dominion, not a thing to be dominated. Don't allow abuse. That's the understanding that should come to you. You are a being of dominion. Now, you see, after we are through with this series, we will be considering the difference between man as a being and man as a thing. So, but now we are telling you that you are a being and not a thing. You see, the idea is this. Since man found himself on this earth after the fall, there are two possibilities. If man doesn't stay with God, if man doesn't keep himself in God, if man fails to follow the way of God, man is bound to either abuse creation or creation abuses him. QED. You have found yourself on this earth and you fail to follow the way of God. You see, you are either made to abuse the earth or you will be abused by the things on earth. Those are the two options, open to any man that don't want to follow God. And that's why you see why many are abused, why they end up in regret, why they die and they bite their finger. Oh, I witnessed one scene of death. It's supposed to be a natural death of an old woman. But by the way that woman died, even though we were made to believe, and by activities, things that she does, that she belonged to God. But at the time she was passing, I witnessed something close to the time she eventually passed. And one of the things I saw around that woman was that the whole the old woman was that she was biting her finger. She was biting herself. She beat herself to shedding blood. I don't like this scene. This thing that I'm being reminded of. I don't know, but meanwhile, that woman, she lived in the house built by her husband. She lived with her children around her. She lived with seemingly a fulfilled life, a sort of. But I don't know. I don't know what encounter or what experience she was having in between the two realms, especially probably now seeing the realm she was crossing into. Because as a matter of fact, I think I remember vividly that I think few hours before she passed, few hours, maybe half a day or a day before she eventually passed, she couldn't speak again. She couldn't speak to anybody again. But when it was now very close, she was just biting her finger, wriggling in pain, but she couldn't express herself. So she was crossing over to the other side. No one could tell what she was experiencing, what she was perceiving, and so, but she was biting herself. And so, what I want to bring out of this is that probably she was in regret. And that the way she had abused life, or how life has abused him. She was now confronting the reality of the usage of her life, of her time. You see, this coming to you in order to let you know that you can't just afford to allow yourself to be used like a thing. Meanwhile, it's only God that can keep you as a being of honor, a being with life. You see, you don't need to, if you live in the realm of existing, you will be abused. If you live in the realm of breathing, just breathing air, that's the basis of living. But living as a being, which is only possible in God, because the life of God would have entered you, and you will now know how to live as man. Living as a being of honor, a being that carries God, a being that bears the nature of God, a being that carries the resources of God, a being who still retains the life of God, the resources of God, that life has not emptied the resources of God in him, the treasures, the giftings, the abilities, the life of God, a being who still retain the life of God. You know, there's difference between an orange that is fresh, that has all the juice in it, that carries the seed, and that orange that has been peeled, that is sucked, emptied of seed, emptied of juice, emptied of sweetness, emptied of brightness of color. That appealing color. Oh, you know, when you just cut a fresh orange, you know how it looks. Especially when you see that this is a very succulent orange with juice, the color will appear. As a picture of many. Many have been sucked dry by things they've put their hands into, by things they have committed themselves to, which have sucked them dry, by things they have given themselves to, pursuing vanity that cannot help their soul. Why they make gain of those things that they pursue, yet they have been emptied of life. They have been emptied of rest. They have been emptied of favor. It's more pitiful and pitiable that many have even used their own lifeline. They are sucking the life of their unborn generation by consulting darkness. You see, there's nothing darkness wants to give you rather than to empty you of life and empty you of resources and blessing. You see, what darkness does is to withdraw the account of blessing of future generation and accrue it to you, and then you use the life, and then all the oncoming generation, they will have nothing in the spirit to bank on. And so at the end of everything, when you have got the accolades of men and the world has abused you, then you are trashed. And even if you are carried in honor by men, at the end, nothing. And all the glory of the mundanities that you have given yourself to, hence with you. Hence with you. Other men will think. And that's why we are saying that you are a being of dominion. You are a being of dominion. And not a thing to be abused. Don't let life abuse you. Don't let men use you as tool, as a thing. Carry yourself with dignity. Bear yourself and keep yourself in honor, in glory. Don't let anxiety take the best part of you. Don't let greed bring you and empty you. Don't let covetousness ruin your destiny. Don't let love for things that can be touched, that can be handled, waste your destiny. You are a being of honor. You have a lot of virtue to bless men with. Don't allow abuse. God bless you.